Got you loud and clear.
We got Cumulus Radio in the house.
Okay.
They always represent.
All right. I'm going to count down from 10. And I'll go silent at 2. And then that's when we'll all applause. So 10, 9, 3. All right. Got it? Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Stand by. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
And welcome to Insights. We're here on location in Cody's Northeast, Tallahassee, Florida. One thing we know, one of their best sellers, those hot wings, they go real fast. As long as y'all leave me about 20 of them, we good. We're here today. We're going to talk a little bit about NFL football, college football. We're going to talk about football, kicking around a little bit. First of all, we want to give our condolences to my special guest, Mike Thomas. He was unable to appear. We just found out about 20 minutes ago, but the show must go on. And we got somebody to stand in for him. We're going to experiment a little bit on the telephone interview. Credell Wingate. We had him on the decision. He was one of the most argumentative individuals you ever want to meet. Him and a couple other fellas kept going back and forth about the decision with LeBron James and going to Cleveland as opposed to Miami because of his outstanding performance. People used to call and ask, could we get him back on? We're going to get it back on today. But we got two things that we always have on our show in that first segment, and we're getting ready to show that to you. We have from the Lakeland legend, the legendary Rick Brown. He does his People on the Pros. And right after that, we got Billy. He's going to give the locker room rant. So we're going to let you hear that, see that, and I'll be back right after that.
Raymond James Stadium before the Bucks-Panthers season opener, and I hope everyone had a good fantasy week. But listen, I don't want to talk about football today. I want to talk about boxing, and particularly former two-time welterweight champion Andre Berto, who's from Winter Haven, Florida. Berto won his first fight in over a year by beating Steve Upshur Saturday night in a 10-round bout in Cincinnati. See, Berto was coming back from this shoulder injury, and he looked real good. He displayed the hand speed that made him a champion. The best thing about Berto is he won and did not re-injure his shoulder. Yes, he has some things to work on, but all in all, it was a solid return. Hey, that's it for me, folks. Follow me on Twitter at RickBrown91 for insights. I'm Rick Brown.
Man, Rick,
Coach.
Hey, thanks, but that was so quick you gave it back to me. I couldn't even find out where the wings were. But we got Billy with the locker room rant. He's coming up next.
Hello there, this Billy with the locker room rant. Boy, this college football season already off and on. Ticket doing it pretty good now. You really got to keep an eye on it because so much stuff is really going on. But one of the things that really caught my eye, can you imagine if you was a head groundskeeper at the University of Florida when they played Idaho, and they had to forfeit the game? First they said they had to forfeit the game because the field was so muddy and it was just deplorable conditions for the guys to play in. They later came back and said the lightning striking their way, that's what it was. But then could you imagine you the groundskeeper in Florida and they had to give that money back to everybody because they couldn't play the game? Now that's somebody right there that's probably looking for a job. Now another thing that happened was South Carolina Trojans. Did you see that game? Ooh, that's a pretty good game they had going on right there when they were playing USC and Stanford. And I looked up, here go Pat Hayden. I guess he had a flashback or something, thought he had his number call. He was supposed to go out there and they were going to run out for him or something. But he ran out there across the field because he said that they had texted him to come to the field. Well, by NCAA rules, you can't communicate from the bench. Then they came back and said it was the compliance officer who should know what the rules is. Text him, told him he needed to bring his butt on down there. I saw him going across the field. I was like, what the damn hell? Now it's a big hoorah about the AD getting involved. It's just so much stuff going on, but it still be fun to watch. This is Billy with the locker room rant. I'll catch you next week.
First of all, Billy, it was USC Southern Cal with South Carolina, but he was right. I was wondering what was going on when he ran across the field too. We're going go back, and Credell and I are going to talk about what happened in football this past weekend, college and NFL. We'll be right back. Insights taking a break. Casinos by Vince. It's a place for all your formal wear and for your nice suits. They fit everyone, and especially the big and the tall. Casinos by Vince. They fit one and all. Tell them Coach sent you. Go by Casinos by Vince. Tallahassee Mall.
What are we talking about on this?
Hey, what game? We just gonna talk about college football now. I'm gonna ask you, Cree. I'm gonna come and ask you what game caught your attention. So I'm gonna come back to that about college football. What game caught your attention and why?
See, Jameis Winston, Jimbo Fisher argument / go sit your ass down. I'm sorry, go sit down.
Yeah.
Whatever he says.
Yeah, and I might lead him into that.
Okay.
Okay.
And how do you respond to that as a coach? That's my question. You know, when you have a player that's all world, and you know.
Credell. He wants. Jeff said he wants you to kind of ask me a question about. Well, I'm gonna ask you what game caught your attention. Then you turn around and ask me about Jameis Winston and Coach Fish. You know, as the kind of coach I am, how would I have responded to it?
Oh, man.
Credell, you might want to answer that yourself on how I would have handled it.
I don't know if the audience wants to hear that.
All of them is shaking their head. Yeah, they do want to hear that. Okay, let's go. Let's roll it. Okay.
All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Bam! And we back. Credell, let's talk a little bit about this weekend. College football first. What game did you see that really kind of popped off to you that you remember, and why it stood out to you?
The game that stood out to me most this weekend was the UNC Stanford game. And it stood out to me most because I've never seen an athletic director come down to the field to argue with officials about a call. I thought that was pretty interesting.
You know, and Billy Boy talked about that on People in the Pros. I mean, Locker Room Rant about the athletic director coming out. I don't think I'd seen that before either.
No, I would like to see Walter Reed back when I played family come down and argue a few calls. That would have been pretty funny.
Yeah, just the fact if he could have got out the bleachers and got down there to the field would have been funny.
That would have been funny for him, seeing him trying to get down there. So what do you think about this weekend, and what do you think about Florida State and the Jameis Winston incident and their open new investigation to that 2012 allegation?
Well, they got to answer that. Now, to tell you the truth, that wasn't the damn question you were supposed to ask me. You know, went off in another direction. And I ain't going to answer that.
See?
Hold it. Creed. You know, your ass always want to shoot. You always want to shoot.
That's right.
Yeah, that's why your career high in assist is 1. We try to lead you where to go with it. All right, Mr. Shoot everything. Okay, now we gonna wrap this up again, and it's gonna be great for the live radio version, but we'll have to edit this down. Okay, I'm gonna give you a countdown, and then we'll start again. Credell, follow the pass. Okay. When I give you the ball this time, just go on and shoot. Don't try to get creative or nothing like that. Just shoot the damn ball this time. All right. 3, 2, 1. Credell.
Yes, sir.
Now you're supposed to ask the damn question. Credell, when I give you the ball, shoot the damn ball.
I got you, sir.
Yeah.
Give me a chest pass this time.
Yeah, right. Hey, I usually hit you in the head with the ball. You don't turn around and see it coming now. Let's do a countdown again, Credell. When I see your daughter, I'm just going to hug her. All right, because genetics say a lot. That baby gonna have a hard road now. Woo. All right. 3, 2, 1.
All right, Coach Clay, I want to know, how would you handle the situation differently with Jameis Winston than Jimbo Fisher handled it up until this point?
That still ain't the damn question. God, Credell, do I need to send the question to you to text it to you? Credell, we're not talking about what happened with the investigation. We're talking about this past week's football game.
He had that.
Oh, man.
Just ask him how, about how do you handle a player that's kind of starstruck, if you will.
Oh, okay. You gotta not just believe in the water. You gotta put my head in it.
I'm gonna drown your ass. That's what I'm gonna do.
A player that that's won a Heisman Trophy and wants to argue back and forth with you.
Okay, you ready yet?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Wow. Okay.
All right, count him in.
3, 2, 1. Slow boy.
All right, Coach. The inquiring mind will know, how would you handle a player that is a little starstruck and will want to argue back and forth and question your authority during the game?
Credell, you played for me, right?
Yes, sir.
How you think I'd have handled it? How you think I'd have handled it?
First thing would have been talk to the hand and go to the locker room, most likely.
Well, we did do that a couple times. Well, only once. And we had to do that. And I think after that, they ended up running to the airport and back. And from FAMU campus, that's a pretty good piece. And I had to go out there.
I made that run a few times.
See, yeah. But see, you went so slow, it wasn't a run. You kind of walked out there. We timed you on a sundial.
First power walking.
Yeah. Discipline is real important, and it doesn't start the last play of the game. And it starts with those early morning practices. And you make it real clear with your team what is accepted and what's not accepted. You set the parameters and you set them firmly. Now, you're going to get tested because they're going to think that when the star player comes, that they're not going to have to follow the rules that everybody else does. And once you bend those rules the first time, you are done. I remember one time we had a team in New Orleans, and they had a time that they were supposed to be back. They weren't back. So we loaded everybody up in the van, and we left. We saw them walking down the street, so we slowed down, waited for them to come. They started walking faster. We pulled off. We got to another block. They saw the van. This time, they walked a little faster trying to get to the van. Pulled off again. The third time they saw us, they went a dead sprint trying to get to the van. When they got to the van, everybody had moved to the back, so they had to sit near the front where I was. Now, what's the snake? You remember the snake, don't you, Credell?
I know it very well.
Tell them what the snake is, Credell.
When you run up and down the steps in the stadium, back and forth, going back from one end to the other, up, down, all the way to the whole thing.
That's the snake. So for about 10 minutes on the van, it was absolute dead silence. You'd have thought they sprayed ether in the van. And you always have somebody who breaks it. So real quietly, you heard it, and it started softly, and it got louder, and said, psst. They let the team start it because they knew they were on the snake. Oh, they ran for about 2 weeks. They had a picture of them, and all of them had watches. And from then on, 5 years later, they would come in my office and show that picture of those kids who they said they ain't know how to tell time. So from then on, whenever we went somewhere, they'd make sure they put their watch on my time, not on their time. Hey, this Insights. We're going to take a break. Credell, how you get cussed out doing a radio show?
3 minutes.
You know what? Because I've been too damn good to argue with them on this past Saturday. That's why I didn't know what you were talking about.
But Credell, we said it before we got to the question, and you didn't have to answer. All you was doing asking a question.
And I just want to put you on the spot.
Yeah, all right, put me on the spot. I thought you would have learned by that. Okay, we got 3 minutes left?
3 minutes. What do you want to close with?
Okay, I'm gonna close with a conversation with myself. Okay, I'm gonna close with conversation with myself.
My name is Sam Jones. I graduated from North Carolina Central University, and I played 12 years with the Boston Celtics, played on 10 championship teams. But if you want to know about sports, I want to encourage all of you to listen to Insight and listen to Mickey Clayton, what a job he does, and you're going to like his program. Thank you much.
Rolling. One of the things that we like to do, especially when we have a guest host or a guest, Credell is our guest host today, and I'm going to ask him. You know, he has a lot of answers about everything. It's just trying to coordinate those answers correctly with the right question, because it just kind of be random. Credell, I know that you were hard-headed. I know some of your history. What I need you to do is take a few minutes and see a young Credell at about 8 years old, all buck-toothed, knees knocking, and I need you to take yourself now with all the experiences that you've had and be able to tell little Credell what life has in store for him and what you would tell him to try to make that hard behind a little bit softer. What would you tell little Credell?
The first thing I'll tell him is to rebel your attitude and, not want to listen to authority all the time is not the way to go. Because, I think the times in my life have been a lot easier if I would listen to some of the people that God placed in there, back when I was younger. I also tell them, that you make sure that you put your studies first, your family, God, and, just take everything in stride, and everybody tells you things, especially people that's close to you, are telling you to help you. They're not telling you to hurt you or hinder you in any way.
Okay, Credell, one last piece of that. Give me the names of 3 people that have been influential in your life to help you get to where you are.
3 people that were influential in my life would be my dad, you, Coach Mickey Clayton. You kept me in line as well as you could back when I was 19, 20 years old. And my high school coach, Steve Williams. He is one of the ones that helped me realize the potential I had and that I was just not doing what I needed to do to tap into.
Well, I gave you 3. I was hoping that I was one of them, so I appreciate that. But Steve Williams is a real good coach, and it's just, I think that it's extremely significant that for a lot of young men and young ladies that their coaches have played such an integral part in their development, and especially with those who were a little bit hard-headed. All of them wasn't like Credell. Some of them listened the first time. Credell didn't listen to the 181st time. He was a little hard-headed. Now he got a little girl just like him, so she don't pass, she try to shoot everything. But Credell, we appreciate you being with us today, and we'll be back next week as we have an interview with a high school coach from Lincoln High School and the outstanding program they have from Lincoln. It's Insight. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Casinos by Vince, our sponsor.
Good.
Credell, I'm going to call you later.
Okay, Coach, I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you.
Stay up to date with the latest from Insights. Visit our website at insights.com. 2 I's in the middle, INSIIGHTS.com.